Son of a... Welcome to this issue of Mad Murphy, where I... Hold on a minute. Now that's much, much better. I figured that I kept on preaching on how others should show their face when you have an issue with something, then I better exercise that practice as well. So, welcome to the new face of Mad Murphy. We got some new graphics too, so this will have a completely new feel to it from now on. Now, where was I? Oh yeah. Welcome to this issue of Mad Murphy, where I take a few topics that are pissing me off and simply rant about them. I'm in no way an expert on any of these topics. These are simply my opinions based off of what I've seen, read, and heard, and if anything I have to say angers you, just get over it. If you wish to make a counterpoint on any of these topics, please feel free to email me with the WHP contact form at wellhey.com/contact or simply add a comment to this video. I will not and absolutely refuse to address any idiot who wants to start a screaming match with me by starting off, including, or ending with insults. These are just my opinions, just as you are entitled to yours. So if you want my respect and have a mature debate, then you may want to start off with some respect as well. You ready? Let's dive right in. I've said it on my Tumblr and I'll say it again. Otherkin is not real. It is your inability to deal with reality. When you simply tell everyone that you are non-human, people in the real world are going to look at you and laugh. If you're not human, then what are you? An animal? Really? An animal that walks upright and speaks fluent English. Now, I'm not talking furries. That's something completely different. I'm talking about people who honestly believe that they are not human. Again, a person that thinks they're not human. Doesn't that violate something here, some fundamental law of being? You can't be something biologically and mentally, but not be that something biologically and mentally. There is some serious chemical imbalance here. Man, I wish I had nothing better to do than just sit around and come up with this shit that some of you honestly believe in. I've heard almost everything this internet generation has put out there. A sexuality for everything, a gender for everything, and now an aversion to being human. Seriously, what is so wrong with playing the cards you were dealt? Is it a mental defense? Did something traumatically happen in your past that you have to completely block out your entire humanity? Is it a social thing? Well, everyone else is doing it. It's fun to pretend to be other things, even if it makes everyone else uncomfortable. I had this unpopular opinion since I first heard about Otherkin. I thought it was the biggest fucking joke that I have ever heard. Children that think they're animals, I couldn't stop laughing. I still can't. And then I was confronted by a 14-year-old girl who called me an asshole. She proceeded to tell me that there's nothing wrong with being a deer kid. I'm not making that up. She literally believes that she was a deer and that ignorant asshole fuckwads like me need to open our eyes to the real world. Yeah, a guy like me, who's experienced several wars, a cataclysmic terrorist attack on our home turf, a marriage, 2 kids, several hirings and firings, unemployment, being in jail, and several court appearances, needs to open my eyes to the real world. While Bambi here, who has been safe in the Shire with mommy and daddy her entire life, thinks that everyone else should adopt this "what animal am I today" policy and have it be commonplace. Anyone else feel like having venison for dinner after hearing that? Let's face it, the best way to change someone's mind about anything is to insult their opinion in the first place. Good God, Stinky, you just strengthened my opinion that not only Otherkin isn't real, but all Otherkins are now assholes! Bravo! She kept at me for a while, then apologized, then retracted that apology because I was having too much fun playing Foxy the Pirate, so I reported her. Now, I haven't heard from her in about a year or two, so I hope she's a 13 point now. Make some hunter really, really happy. So I continued this thought. Otherkin is not real. It's complete bullshit. And then, miraculously, a person took me aside and said, you know, I totally get where you're coming from. These Tumblr Otherkins are making us look bad. Wait, what? You're saying Tumblr got something wrong? Again? You have my full attention. They went on to explain that Otherkin is actually a spiritual practice where you harness the power of your spirit animal so you feel as strong as an ox or as swift as a cheetah. You're human just like everyone else is. You are just closer to nature in a spiritual sense of the word. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. But the term Otherkin, it still didn't sit well with me. If Otherkin is exactly what this person said, then you are simply in sync with your spirit animal. That's it. You're not akin to it. You're just harnessing its spiritual energy. And that's something completely different. So my original statement actually still holds true. Otherkin is not real. Then, after volleying my unpopular opinion back and forth with some other Otherkins, someone made another grand statement. Those fiction-kins always making us Otherkin look bad. Wait, what? There's something worse than Otherkin? If you don't know, fiction-kin is the belief that you are a fictional character. And I thought believing you were an animal was a far enough removal away from humanity. Some jerk-off had to take it a step further. Now, Otherkin may have a conversation with you, try to explain what Otherkin actually is, and listen to your point of view. But there is no hope, zero, zilch, nada, niet, null chance of you ever having a decent conversation about your opinion with fiction-kins. They will completely abandon any hope of backing their beliefs and simply attack you. Every single one of them that I have addressed have attempted to attack me rather than address my opinion. And when you do that, you have simply proven to me that you have nothing of value to offer me. You have no ammunition. You are a blank slate. So you resort to the only way you know how. Grade school, yeah, well, you're stupid antics. And again, as I said before, it'll only strengthen my opinion that not only are you not real, not only are you an asshole, but now you also have the intellectual prowess of a 6th grader. Look, I'm not one to slam anyone's beliefs as long as they are sound. I believe in karma, the force that good happens to those who do good and bad happens to those who do bad. It hasn't failed me yet because I have seen it happen. But when you believe you are something that you are not, despite all evidence, visually, mentally, biologically, and emotionally, that is not a belief. That is a condition, and I suggest you talk to someone about it. I posted my beliefs on Tumblr, you know, because that's the most tolerant place in the world to post your beliefs, and I was shocked to find this open-minded group of children took offense to the fact that I simply didn't believe in Otherkin. One little wolf boy went as far as taking the time to respond to my post, then immediately block me so that I wouldn't have a chance to defend myself because, you know, that is the mark of being truly tolerant of another being's belief structure. Slam it down and then give them no way to defend the way they feel. Bravo, Fido. Bravo. Now, I'm not one to generalize, but, well, here we go. What I have noticed about most of these fuzzy fuck-ups is that they all have the same thought process on how they defend the way they are. They have this giant chip on their shoulder that no one else is buying their fiction droppings, and so their only course of action is to verbally retaliate. Rather than trying to talk to someone logically or just dropping it all together, you know, because that is an option too. Rather than being good little puppies and kitties, they viciously attack without mercy. The tenacity these creatures have is outstanding, but unfortunately, it's all for naught. You see, no matter how loud you bark, roar, trumpet, bray, howl, or whinny, the final outcome is this. If I thought you were a phony before, now I just think you're a phony, who's also a fucking asshole. You have won nothing. And until you can change your tune, you are not going to score points with anyone who is willing to listen. So you can call me whatever you want to call me. You can insult me till the cows come home. You can tell me how immature I am, how closed-minded I am, how socially ignorant, how stupid, moronic, idiotic, or how big of a bozo I am. That will not change the fact that the lot of you are just bullies with tails, and I don't put up with any of that shit either. That's a bad, bad boy. Do I have to rub your nose into that? Now, after some careful consideration, I think I finally figured out what the true issue is here. It's not about believing who you are or what you are or any of that. You can believe in whatever you want to believe in about yourself. I'm not one to stop anyone from doing that. It's your belief, and who am I to tell you to stop believing it? I may not believe it myself, but that's my belief. I believe you are completely full of shit. What the problem is, and I see this time and time again, is as soon as I say that I don't believe, all these otherkins jump down my fucking throat. They say I'm wrong, they say I'm closed-minded, they say I'm ignorant. I say, shut the fuck up, I'll believe whatever the fuck I want to believe in. It's never really been about what you believe in. It's always been about forcing me to believe in what you believe in, and that's just not how it works. You don't gain disciples by force. You gain disciples by teaching, and your actions are simply teaching me that otherkin are spoiled little entitled pricks that throw a temper tantrum whenever they don't get their way. No, I'm not saying all otherkin are bad. Out of all the interaction I've had with otherkin since I built my little soapbox, about 5% come to me with an open mind and ask questions. They want to know what I think otherkin is and see if they can fill in any of the blanks. I appreciate that. I really do. It tells me that you're not forcing me to believe in the reality of it. You just want to make sure that I'm aware of what it really is. The other 95% of you cunts think that I'm challenging your existence, so you immediately attack. And just like any other bully, picking on me, tossing shade, or hurling insults is only going to strengthen my opinion that your belief is nothing more than a reality dodge. If you've stuck around this long, I want to thank you for letting me air out my grievances. And believe me, I got lots of them, so I'll just close out with the usual. It doesn't matter what your religion is. I think we can all believe that treat others as you wish to be treated is a pretty decent rule to live by. So why don't we all stop the fighting and just treat each other the way we would like to be treated? You can never have too much of a good thing. Unless it's beer, then drink responsibly. I look at all of my friends and fans as younger brothers and sisters. I am not yelling simply to yell. I just don't want you to make the same mistakes that I have. So if I go off on you individually, it's because I see you're about to hit that point where you're going to turn into me, and we cannot have any more Murphys. The world can barely tolerate one. If you missed any of this Mad Murphy issue, the transcript will be posted on WellHey.com, so stop on by and enjoy the insanity. If you have a suggestion or topic that you would like to hear my opinion on, then you can let me know in the comments or at WellHey.com/contact. As always, you can catch me and say hi on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and of course, YouTube. This is Murphy 1976 of WellHey Productions, where we bring you colorful insanity to your drab, uneventful lives.